Welcome to Fridays for Fundraising. In the next 5 minutes, you're going to learn one step you can take before you leave the office today that can move fundraising forward for your small nonprofit. Hi, I'm Kelly, founder of From Scratch Fundraising, where we help nonprofit leaders raise more dough without burning anything. Every Friday, I'm here to serve up one bite-sized fundraising assignment that you can finish in about an hour. Think of it as your weekly recipe for sustainable fundraising success. No overwhelm, just actionable steps that actually move the needle. Welcome back. Last week, we talked about why someone might want to subscribe to your email list. Rarely do we see that people want to subscribe simply to get updates from your nonprofit. Everyone has plenty of emails, and so they don't necessarily want to sign up for arbitrary, random updates that they don't know what those are going to be. Instead, we want to give them compelling reasons to subscribe. Certainly, we can send them updates about our organization, but why? What value are they going to get out of being on your email list? That is what we went over last week, and I hope that you listened to that full episode and really gave that a deep think. This week, we're talking about the actual form that you get people to fill out, because believe it or not, the form really matters. We call these a lead generation form, or your just generic email sign up, right? That's the form. We, at a minimum, want to capture first name and email. I see a lot of organizations just asking for email because they're trying to reduce that friction of sign up. But if we can't do bare minimum personalization on emails like first name, we're putting ourselves at a disadvantage. So we want to think about having as a minimum first name and email. Now, beyond that, we have some kind of opposing needs. In the first place, more fields often lead to less conversion. So we don't want to ask a million questions. We don't want to have them fill out a million fields because we're trying to uber segment our audience. That's not the solution here. But we want to be able to segment. We want to be able to send them things they're interested in. I have clients who work in multiple countries. We want to know what country they are in when they sign up. So we have first name, email, and country, so that we can at least do that minimum segmentation. Children's programming, for example, I have signed up for things that are my name, my email, my child's first name, and their age, so that they can send me things that are personalized using my daughter's name and relative to her age. Right? So these are the types of fields that we want to think about. What are those bare minimum fields that we need? I think the best strategy for figuring out how many fields you can have in your form, how you want to build out that form, is thinking deeply about how you're going to implement your email strategy if you have this better data. For example, I have a client that's working on 4 different topics in 3 different countries, and they have 3 ways for individuals to get involved beyond donating. What we decided to ask for from individuals is first name, last name, and email. These are the only forms that people have to actually type in anything. And we have a single multi-select with all the topics, countries, and ways for individuals to be involved. And it's headed with the simple question, what topics are you interested in? And then people can select. Those 4 fields give us everything we need to successfully implement their email strategy, which segments by topic and country interest. And then we have different calls to action based on what they are interested in doing for the organization. All right. So that's very simple. It's a simple form. It doesn't take long to sign up for. We see decent conversion rates, and we're able to do what we need to do to have a segmented, relevant email strategy. So we don't have to go absolutely bananas here and have 10 million forms. When we were originally thinking about it, we were thinking, oh, well, what if there are multi-selects for interest? What multi-selects for country, multi-selects for the call to action? And we realized that actually having it feel like it's just one question was a way better way to get people to actually fill out the form. One other way you can tag people without adding forms is to have multiple lead generation forms. So if you're posting on social media, using the example of the client who does recipe shares from last week, right? If you're sharing on social media about the recipe, here's the winning recipe for this week. We're sending it out on Friday. Sign up today if you want the recipe share. We can have a specific lead generation form that only asks for first name and email, but that lead generation form is set up to automatically tag someone as somebody interested in our recipe shares. So this is another way that we don't want to say, hey, sign up for our email list to get recipe shares and then send them to a generic page where they're putting their first name, their email, and hey, what are you interested in? Recipe shares is one of the options. We might be tempted to do that. What I tend to recommend instead is keeping your lead generation form very lean, tagging it with recipe shares, and then sending people other options. Next week, we're going to post about a call for volunteers, and anybody who fills out that form gets tagged as interested in volunteering. CRM systems, as long as people are using the same email address, will just keep adding tags to people. Your homework assignment this week is figure out what you need. What fields will you put on your form? And sometimes if you have a generic sign up form, we want to put all of those multiple fields on there. But will you use that one form always? Or do you have the ability to set up multiple forms that have a back end tag or back end way of segmenting? So that is your homework assignment this week. Think about how you're implementing your email strategy. How could you improve it if your audience had these tags? And then do you want to use one form or do you want to use multiple auto tag forms? Next week, we're going to talk about places you can build your email list and also ways to build your email list. So I'll meet you back next week. Want to make this work even easier? I have a template that has a lot of the elements we're talking about building out, just ready for you to customize. Go to fromscratchfundraising.com/email to download the template right now.
Now go make the world a better place.